You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, if you're a Chicago Bears fan and you're hoping to get Caleb Williams, there might be a little cause for concern here. We got two stories completely unrelated. One about the fact that, look, Caleb Williams and his camp, that includes his daddy, may be telling people in the public one thing, but they're saying something else, potentially, behind the scenes about whether or not they really do want to go to Chicago. We got a story here that comes out and says, no, they want to go to the Washington Commanders. Then we got another story that has emerged about the fact that the Commanders will do everything possible to try to trade to number one to get Caleb Williams. You know, I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it was, we're just going to try this, grab an offensive coordinator. Look, they calculatedly signed Cliff Kingsbury, who was Caleb Williams' quarterback's coach at USC. I think there was a real reason they did that. So, in other words, and look, if I was going to draft Caleb Williams, I would have signed Cliff Kingsbury too. It makes all the sense in the world. It really does. You get him into an NFL program, he's got a coach that you're already very familiar with his principles, who also has already been in the NFL, both as a player and as a coach. Makes a lot of sense. It does provide some stability for Caleb Williams, no doubt about it. So, let's check this out. I've got Sports Mockery and I've got USA Today. Everything coming out of the scouting combine has indicated the Bears are done with Justin Fields. They will find a way to trade him in the coming weeks, paving the way for GM Ryan Poles to take his preferred quarterback in the draft. Another prevailing belief around the NFL is that the Bears have also reached their decision on that front. It will be Caleb Williams out of USC. They love his tape, and they haven't gotten any bad impressions from talking both to him and the people who have worked closely with him. However, one subplot remains in the background. What about the Washington Commanders? They sit at number 2 overall, and word persists they're trying hard to convince the Bears to consider swapping picks so they can take Williams. Former scouting director Greg Gabriel said the possibility is there. What could complicate the situation is if the quarterback decides to press the issue. According to Adam Johns of The Athletic, some familiar with him and his family believe it can't be ruled out. And this is the scary part if you're a Bears fan and you want Williams. Regardless of what Williams told ESPN or said during the Combine media session about playing for the Bears, one league source familiar with Williams said that there should be concerned that he and his father Carl could become infatuated with the idea of playing for the Washington Commanders as the long pre-draft process plays out. Look, nobody comes out with that unless they have heard either from that camp or they know somebody intertwined somewhere in earshot of this camp. Somebody said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could get to Washington? I mean, that's just the way that works. The Commanders should have as many interactions with Williams as the Bears have with him. At the very least, it's something we'll watch given how much time remains before the draft. He's a Washington kid, the league source said. It's his home. Yeah, I mean, that is big in all of this, and it's huge in all this. And one could wonder, is there a potential Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers scenario brewing here? All right, where, the Bears, where Caleb Williams ultimately says, hey, I'm not playing for the Bears. So what are you going to do? You're going to draft me. I'm never going to sign. We're going to end up back in the draft next year. Or you can flip the pick. You can take, or you can stay where you're at, or you can flip the pick, take an extra first next year out of the flip. It's only one spot, but you might get a first in the second next year or something like that. It's not going to be one of these dramatic hauls because it's one spot. But, hey, I'm not going to sign with you, Chicago. You're going to have to trade the pick. So they go ahead and they trade the pick, get some extra draft picks, and then they take, I've said I would take Jaden Daniels above Caleb Williams anyway, but take Jaden Daniels and the extra draft picks if you're the Chicago Bears. This is very interesting that all of this is oozing out at the same time now, right? So, with the number 2 overall pick, the Commanders will likely have their pick of quarterbacks outside of Caleb Williams, who's expected to be taken first overall by the Chicago Bears. That doesn't necessarily mean Washington will stand pat and not try to trade up for one of the top quarterback prospects in recent memory. Pro Football Focus lead draft analyst and co-host of the NFL Stock Exchange, Trevor Sikkema, said that he heard at the NFL Combine that the Commanders are looking at their options and he expects them to propose a trade to the Bears for the number 1 overall pick. Quote, Washington is exploring all options, Sikkema said. There were recent reports that they were thinking about trading down. I don't know if they're going to trade down because they got the opportunity to take a quarterback and they really need one, and I think they're going to make that call. I do think that they are putting together a legitimate proposal to move up to number 1. Essentially, they're going to make Chicago say no. That is interesting, all things considered. And you've got to wonder, they're going to meet with the Commanders regime. And I'm talking about Caleb Williams. And he's probably in communication with Cliff Kingsbury, yada, yada, yada. Now, I don't know what the limitations are there from any kind of rule standpoint between draft picks in the league and all of that. But obviously, with him having been his quarterbacks coach at USC, I suspect there is some communication there of some sort, and I'm sure it's very friendly. Him being a Washington kid, you got to wonder if we're about to have the first power play we have seen since Eli and Phillip Rivers, Now, Eli and the Mannings came out and said, we're not going to the San Diego Chargers, so you can draft us, but we're not going to play for you. Well, you're going to have to do something. And, of course, ultimately what happened, there was a trade. Phillip Rivers became a very damn good borderline Hall of Fame quarterback for the San Diego Chargers. Eli Manning became what probably will end up being a Hall of Fame quarterback with Eli Manning and the Giants. So, there is precedent there. A lot of things, a lot of smoke. This smoke's been around for a while. But now it's starting to kick back up and starting to go back into overdrive. This Washington thing is only going to gain more steam. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.